Okay, this is one of the most fun things to talk about in course management, a short par four. So, most often, a short par four doesn't leave you a lot of room for forgiveness around the greens. It's a short par four, and so the only real way for the course designer to make this hole difficult is to make the green small and to put a lot of hazards around the green. But that doesn't mean you have to not be aggressive off the tee. It just means you need to, again, look at this hole and determine where's the big landing area that I can hit. And it's funny, oftentimes a short par four will look like it's a huge risk to hit a driver. So if it's, for me, if it's a 300-yard par four, that's a green that I can drive in one shot. A lot of times on those short par fours, there will be a hazard up there, a really dangerous spot, but there will also be a really forgiving side. So one hole that I'm thinking of, for instance, is number 3 at Wolf Hollow Golf Club in Washington, Missouri. It's a hard dogleg left, and there are a bunch of trees blocking you, so that you have to hit a really high tee shot if you want to go over those trees toward the green. And if you miss left, you're toast. Your ball is down a hill, in a hazard, or out of bounds. So you really can't miss left. But if you miss right, you've got quite a bit of room. Ideally, you're going to hit a shot that goes on the green or goes up there right next to it. But even if you miss, if you're looking at this hole or other similar holes, you can find a big open area that you could miss too. That maybe isn't, it doesn't look like it on the card that that's where you should hit. But if you think about your game and you can say confidently that you've got this driver swing that you can count on is not going to go left, or a driver swing that you know is not going to go right, you can really be a little bit more aggressive on these shorter par fours. So it's kind of the opposite strategy that a lot of people will take. On a short par four, you might think, well, the smart thing to do is to lay up into the fairway and then hit a wedge onto the green. But because that green is often really small on those shorter par fours, if we're laying up into the fairway, a lot of times it's requiring a long iron, which not very many people are very good at. So they may not hit it solid. Then they leave themselves a really long shot into a really small green. Or even if they do hit a solid shot, they're still leaving themselves 120 to 150 yards into this really small green that they could actually miss, and then they bring those hazards into play. So when you're looking at a really short par four, something that you could hit your driver, go ahead and look for that bailout area. Look for that big open area where if you don't hit the green, you're still going to be okay. And if you've grooved your swing, if you really trust your go-to driver swing, then you can pretty much count on the fact that your ball's either not going to curve left or it's not going to curve right if you do a couple key things. And then you can be aggressive. You can get up there and have some fun and maybe try to drive the green, or at the very least, get it up there by the green so you can have a chance to chip on and make a putt for birdie.